Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you coming by. You ever had one of those odd vacations that just maybe nothing went right, or the people that were supposed to be there didn't show up, or I don't know, who knows? All kinds of stuff could happen. Well, that's kind of what we had when we went to Monroe, Utah this year for Memorial Day weekend. And normally I'm not one to travel over holiday weekends because, well, everybody travels over holiday weekends. And what's the point of trying to get away if away's coming with you? So I try to make it a general rule not to go out of town over holiday weekends. But this year we did. We loaded up the side-by-side in the motorhome, and again, like I said, we went to Monroe, Utah. Now Monroe is just south of Richfield, about 10 miles. And there's plenty of trails in the area to explore. And we've only been down to that area a couple of times, so there's still plenty of roads for us to go explore and track. And we were really excited to do so. But what really surprised me is when we got to the RV park, there was nobody there. There was a handful of folks there, and it pretty much stayed that way the entire weekend. Now, I couldn't explain why in the beginning of this trip. However, it became apparent the further we got into it. So let's head down the trail and show you exactly what I'm talking about.
Stop, don't drive into the back of us. What was that?
We can film this one.
Almost thank you, just no snow. I'll wait for this guy.
So this is the end of the road. This is all snow. Not gonna make it up. See another side trail down here. So I'm standing on probably 10, no, 6 feet of snow right here on this road. Maybe less. Down there it's probably more like 4. But down there where that rock is, that's where the main elevation of the road is. And then that spur goes off that direction, and we head up that way to get to the top of Monroe Peak. Just another part of Utah's great winter we had here in 2022-23. Sucks for Memorial Day weekend, but good for the snowpack later on. So we'll turn around and head back, I guess. We always take a minute to reminisce about the old days and what happened last year. Wasn't going to help our situation any, but hey, that's what we do. And we do a little bit of trail maintenance for the future. Then we turned around and headed back to the RV park. Day 2 started with high spirits and a fresh tank of gas, and we left Elsinore, Utah, and headed into the trails looking for some lower elevations to avoid the snow. This was Faith's first time driving the Razor on the roads, and I think after the initial nervousness wore off, it's probably going to be hard to get the steering wheel out of her hands now. Of course, this was Memorial Day weekend, so the cemeteries were covered in flags and in memory of our fallen soldiers. Took a quick stop for a stretch and a drink, and I saw something I just had to go look at. You can see that we've definitely seen some high water this year. This wash has had some good water running down it. Hasn't really changed the trail much, hasn't washed anything out so far, but you definitely see the winter runoff, or spring runoff, excuse me, has been hitting this area pretty good. It's really washing this thing out, which I wouldn't want to be here in a storm, but for right now it's pretty cool. Nice narrow canyons. I just found me just a cool little rock formation here that I want to check out, and I'm glad we stopped here. We just stopped for a stretch break here, but this is pretty cool. Check this out. There was just something about these rock formations and the erosion right here. I had to stop and check it out. It just looks so cool to me. All right, break time's over. Let's hit the trail. This trail is narrow with a lot of climbs and steep drop-offs, so if you don't like that kind of trail riding, this is not the road for you. Took another quick stop to do a little trail repair and have a look at the beautiful valley below us. Then it was back on the trail, headed higher in elevation. Want to take a guess what we found there? So, for the second day in a row, we're not nearly as high as we were yesterday in elevation, but the road goes that way. We are not going to be able to go that way. We were on trail number 11, headed towards 10, which would have dropped us down into Joseph. But we're not going to make it. We're going to have to go backtrack about 4 miles and then hit the main number 1 loop and drop back into Elsinore where we started this morning and then head back to camp. So we're gonna take a quick lunch and I guess go back. We'll figure out a new road to go on later, but just another example of what an exceptional winter we've had all throughout the state of Utah. So that's all right, we're still having fun. We'll go as far as we can. So there's no such thing as a bad day out on the dirt. Exploring is what we do, whether we get stopped by snow or not. And the trail lunch is the best lunch you'll ever eat. I guarantee it. Alright, so next week we'll finish up this Monroe trip. We'll let you in on whether or not we find any more snow to play in. And we'll also get right down to the Sevier River, where things get a little bit dicey. Until then, have a great, adventurous week, and thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Stay safe out there.